From our amazing product leaders about all the innovations we're bringing to you in our products and the roadmap we have for you as well. To make it somewhat more real, I wanted to have Ritu join us from IDC, one of the top analysts, to talk about what she's seeing from market trends, the customers she speaks to, as well as advice she would have in terms of when you're thinking of business transformation, what you should be thinking about as well. So Ritu, first, thank you for joining us. And I know you flew from another conference to make it here, so I really appreciate that and for you taking the time.
Thank you, Amit. It's a pleasure. I'm extremely passionate about technological innovations that drive transformation in the industry. And you guys are doing some fantastic job, so I couldn't escape the fun.
Great. No, thank you for taking the time and being here. So I know you speak to 100+ customers a month, and a lot of them are all talking about agentic AI. You've been hearing a lot of those conversations. What are you telling them? How are you approaching that conversation?
Yeah, it's a very interesting point because when GenAI happened, a lot of the organizations were scrambling to figure out what the heck is it. And now, when agentic AI, I was pleasantly surprised the number of inquiries that I have done in Q3 and Q4 of 2024, where organizations are trying to be proactive. They're trying to figure out, they're looking at it as a strategic imperative for their company, and they're trying to figure out how should they prepare for this transformation. So I always tell them that you really cannot sit on the aisles and watch this happen. The pace of innovation is really, really dramatic, and it's unprecedented. They need to partner with a trusted technology provider who can walk them through this journey. And speed and precision, scale, openness, because this is a strategic imperative. So they can't be just boiling the ocean. Just focus on the right set of use cases, focus on those priorities.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I think that as thinking of strategic partners, they're hearing in these messages from so many different vendors. Everybody talks about AI, agents, agentic.
Yeah.
How do you tell them to kind of look at differences? How should they make decisions like that?
Yeah, it's not an easy decision because there's so much confusion. So the first thing that I tell them is that they first need to figure out what are the fundamentals of agentic AI. There's a lot of confusion in the industry as to what is agentic AI and Gen AI. If you see, Gen AI was all about operational efficiency and productivity gains, and people were trying to, if there's a software engineer working in it, he or she would actually get some benefit. But agentic AI is focused on innovation in terms of taking the step to the next level. If there is an autonomous software engineer who can guide them actually and do things, if there is a higher level task given to them in terms of doing what exactly needs to be done to do a company-wide operations and logistics, it can reason, it can plan, it can do. So there's a concept of a human plus digital labor that no human-only workforce can ever match. So they need to look into the high-value use cases. They need to look, you don't hire a CEO of a company and put that to work on a data entry job. So it's not about taking, agentic AI technology and start using it where RPA would be a better fit. So I always tell them, look for greenfield opportunities, look for platforms that are AI native, that can give you the speed, the native, scale. It can actually interact with the ecosystem and help you achieve those business outcomes that you are striving for.
No, that makes perfect sense. As ServiceNow, we are very focused on putting AI for people to work, for people for work, right?
Yeah.
So with agentic AI capable of making decisions and taking actions independently, how do you ensure alignment with human intent and the values it generates?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fear or a paranoia. So you will not be surprised to hear that most of the organizations tell us that this is not just about technology. Technology can help them kind of get there in terms of what they're trying to achieve, but it's also about the business objectives and change management. Organizations need to bring together their people definition and people reorganization strategy. What will be the human-machine collaboration? So, and from a tools and technology perspective, what is critical to kind of embrace is that be proactive in the risk management. The degree of autonomy will increase with the trust, the technology, and policy maturity. So we tell them that basically look for embracing the tools, the AI governance platforms, look into the AI-ready data, look into how you can actually be transparent in how the agents made the decisions, Make sure that you are complying to all the regulatory requirements. Make sure you have the accountability, not to fire people, but if God forbid, if something goes wrong, then you have the real-time audit trails that can help you make the right decisions. So proactive risk management, embracing this is fundamental, but more important than that is to build this whole transformation. It is not a status quo. Think about dynamic agility and speed, and for that you need the AI native tools and platforms.
Makes sense. So you had a front row seat to help show companies how they adopt AI.
Yeah.
How do you know that they've got it right, and what does it look like?
It's very interesting. You know, like the early days, I used to see that their company was very fragmented. There was no concept of bringing the things together. People were talking in silos about AI strategy. AI strategy cannot exist in silo with your company corporate-wide strategy. You need to focus what your corporate KPIs and the requirements are, and then make sure that you put the right set of technology in the right place. So it was fundamental. Those organizations that are working both top-down as well as bottoms-up, they are much more successful. They are proactively thinking about the human-agent ratio. They have an understanding that AI is not an AI washing game going on. Those are the companies that are really, really at the forefront, where there's a lot more collaboration. There's no strict hierarchies. Right. They're working together. They're working with the ecosystem of the partners. That's what is moving the needle for them.
So you can definitely figure out how you can get it right.
Absolutely.
And get this thing done.
The kind of questions, the proactiveness, they are trying of embracing agentic AI is no longer just a nice to have. People are using it. They are using it varied levels of autonomy, being cognizant of the risk. They are mindful of the risks. A very interesting example that comes to my mind is that when Gen AI happened, there was a pharmaceutical company that was using it for creating, protein molecules. And now, when agentic AI happened, they are dealing in the chemical synthesis process, how you could decide when is the right time to switch the solvent. So they are kind of proactively thinking where this technology can help them versus just having this technology for force fitting. There were companies who were focused on just productivity gains. This is not about productivity gains only. Yes, you'll get that, but this is beyond that. This is about the speed, the precision, reinventing your business model. How do you create value? How do you deliver value and capture value is going to be changed forever.
Oh, that's very, very true. I mean, we talked about AstraZeneca yesterday, and we have a lot of great examples like that, where a lot of innovation is happening, or huge transformation, and AI is used for a lot more things than we would have even started with, right? So,
absolutely.
Thank you, Ritu, for sharing your insights and time with us today. Next, I'm excited to hear more from Stellantis and how they are using ServiceNow to run an AI-powered business all in one place, delivering employee productivity and customer happiness. So let's roll the video, and right after that, Amy Loki will walk us through how Stellantis is bringing AI to every corner of the business.